Have you ever wondered why it is that when you swing slower, you often hit the ball not only better, but also much further? Today, I'm going to break down the phenomenon of why swinging slower actually helps you to hit the ball further. And I'll identify the number one mistake most of you are making when it comes to swinging too fast with all of your clubs. I think it's worth pointing out at the very beginning of this video that, of course, swinging slower doesn't literally equal more distance. In fact, swinging faster equals more distance, but swinging faster at the right time. And that's really the key element here that I'm going to address in today's video. The reason most of you are struggling to create the distance that you desire, or you're very inefficient in your delivery of the club to the ball, is due to poor sequencing throughout your swing. Let me explain exactly what I mean. The poorest golfers who swing too fast tend to do so by making an extremely aggressive and violent move from the top of the swing. The transition from the backswing to the downswing is usually initiated by too much of a turning of the body, which throws the hands and the club out towards the ball. That's the dreaded over-the-top move that many of you will be familiar with. That robs you of speed, it robs you of efficiency, and it really makes playing this game extremely difficult. When it comes to the correct sequencing that you'll see the best players doing, they will reach the top of their swing and they will start down with their arms first. The arms will begin to drop and separate very subtly but very certainly before the body starts to move. This separation move is described in the Golfing Machine book as the release of the fourth accumulator. Now that sounds quite technical. What it really means is how this lead arm pulls away from the body in the downswing. That's the move that the best players are making. There's plenty of examples, if you look close enough, for tour players using this exact drill and this exact feeling when they're practicing. So why does this work for them and why can it work for you? Well, when you're swinging slower in your mind, when you think about slower as a swing thought, what you're really doing is you're allowing yourself to complete your backswing fully, and then because there's no fierce move down towards the ball, you allow that initial transition to be a little bit smoother, which gets the hands and the club coming down correctly. And it's that tiny little adjustment that you're going to find makes an enormous difference to the quality of your ball striking and the distance you can hit your shots. So let me go ahead and talk you through the drills that you could do if you were going to practice this feeling, and at the same time I'll play some examples of the best players in the world utilizing the same concept. A feeling that I really like to get my players to do is to complete their backswing, and then from this front view, notice how my shoulder turn is completed. It's around 90 degrees of shoulder turn. I'm going to move my arms down, that's moving this left arm away from my body, moving it away from my shoulders. I'm going to do that while keeping my back still pointing at the target. So the feeling is that my back has turned to the target in the backswing, and now in the downswing, as I feel to get this correct transition, this smooth unloading of the arms, I'm going to move the arms down without unwinding my body. That's just putting in that small delay in terms of the opening up of the body turns. As I've already mentioned, the biggest mistake I see without any doubt in the top of the backswing, in the transition from backswing to downswing, are golfers who are trying to hit the ball too hard, and instead of the arm unloading, the arm's going to stay up and pinned to the body, and the golfer's going to use their upper body and their rotation to go towards the ball. Once I've done this, I'm in trouble. This club's so far outside, it's so steep. My only option to hit this ball is to swing across. If I do make contact, I'm likely going to hit a pull to the left or a slice to the right. And whatever I do, I'm certainly not going to have very much control of my golf ball. That's the number one error when it comes to you trying to hit the ball hard. The feeling of wanting to hit this ball from the top is what creates all of the problems. So the drill to begin with is top of the backswing, keep the shoulder turn closed, feel the arms swing down to where the club is more or less parallel to the ground. For those of you familiar with the P system, this position right here is referred to as P6. So up to the top, swing the arms down to P6, really feel like the lead arm separates and moves away from the shoulders. That's releasing that arm from your body. As the golfing machine would describe that, that's releasing the fourth accumulator. These are the examples I've shared with you already of the best players doing this drill. And here's Bryson talking about how he uses that feel with the driver.
Comes from the lats, so a lot you can see when I'm pulling down, so I'm pulling the club as hard down as I possibly can. So I pull up and I pull down.
Oh, really?
So it's a lot of doing the same thing, but just feeling like I pull it harder.
Oh.
It's like I pull it harder, yeah. So I move it faster back and I pull it down harder.
So if you're someone who identifies themselves as having this problem, you could go ahead and hit some balls after doing the drill. You'd go to the top, you'd have the separation feel where the club falls down. It's almost like I'm trying to hit the back of the mat here. Feel like the arms and the club are going to drop. Now that exaggeration of excessive dropping will really just be matched with the correct amount of body turn once I actually go ahead and hit this ball. Remember, this is a sequencing problem that you have, and we're changing that sequencing by reversing it. Rather than just being all body from the top and not enough arms, we're going to change that by being almost all arms as a feel, dropping the club first before we turn into the back of the ball. So go ahead and set up to the golf ball, make the backswing, do the rehearsal, 1 or 2 little drills, this little pump drill down to P6. Then you can go back to the ball and incorporate that same feeling. Go ahead and hit one. Pretty solid contact. Little push draw, finishing back on the target line. It felt really effortless, and I think that's something that you'd recognize in good golf swings, whether they're professionals playing on the tour or just golf swings that you like watching, whether that's playing partners and buddies of yours or people that you see at the range or at the golf course. The good swings look effortless, and the reason they look nice to the eye is because they have this sequencing that you can't always put your finger on. But if you remember the great swings of people like Fred Couples and Ernie Els, where these guys look like they're swinging almost in slow motion, and yet of course they're hitting the ball 300 yards. Now, you're trying to hit the ball 300 yards, maybe you're trying to hit it just 250, but you can't get it past 200, yet you're putting in an enormous amount of effort. It's that wasted effort that I want to help you with today. And this exercise is designed to do exactly that. It works for all the clubs in your bag. I'm starting out with an iron here, but as you saw from the Bryson clip, this certainly works for the driver as well. So let's finish by doing this with the driver. I think this is probably the club that you all want to hit further, probably want to hit straighter as well. This exercise doesn't just help you to swing faster, it helps you to hit the ball straighter because the transition, the correct transition and sequence of the arms and the body keeps this club moving on a better arc and a better plane. Therefore, your outcome, your dispersion is going to be much tighter. So let's start with the wrong one. What do I see people doing? Setting up to the ball, making a backswing, and then really trying to hit from the top. I'm going to swing fast here. I'm going to try and hit this ball hard, but I'm going to certainly incorporate too much of the turning movement that we talked about from the top of the swing. Too much of the rotation, not enough of the arms coming down. Let's see what I can get in terms of distance, and let's see the outcome of this shot. So go ahead and do this incorrectly. Definitely tried to hit that hard. The over-the-top move that I felt has produced that pull. There's a little bit of a heel strike as well. See, that's only gone 222 yards. That's really not very far at all. It didn't even carry 200. That was a pretty poor drive. The outcome might look okay, but it's extremely inefficient for a driver. My swing path there as I hit that ball was nearly 9 degrees to the left or across the golf ball. Again, not efficient in terms of energy transfer and distance production, and certainly not particularly efficient either when it comes to controlling the direction of my driver. So here's what I want to do. I get to the top, keep my back facing the target, and pull my arms down, get them to separate from my body. That feeling of keeping my back to my target while lowering my arms, and almost, as I said before, trying to get the club to feel like it's going to hit the back of the mat here. That's getting that separation that we want and the sequence to be correct. You remember Bryson saying about the pulling down feel. That feeling is something that I would encourage many of you to incorporate. And when it comes to the sequence word again, what should move when, the hands and arms should move the fastest in the early transition. That means as you start the downswing, the peak hand speed in golf is when the hands are moving the club from the top of the swing to about halfway down. That's when your hands are moving the quickest, not when you hit the ball. By the time you hit the ball, if you're still trying to swing fast and hit this thing, you're already too late. You've missed the opportunity in the window in which to create that speed. So the Bryson drill, or the back to target drill, where we lower the arms and release the fourth accumulator from the body, this pulling down feeling, that can happen first, and it should happen fast. This is really where the good players are getting and creating their distance. So here's the correct sequence: up to the top, keep the shoulders closed and the back to the target, lower the arm. The faster you do this, the more speed you'll be able to create. You get the fast arms first, and then the turn will kick in and take over. That's the sequence of the best ball strikers in the world. Really effortless feel, totally different ball flight, high, draw, slight overdraw, but 273 yards, 250 yards carry without feeling like I was hitting that hard at all. If you look at that ball flight on the screen, that lovely draw shape, which will be alien to far too many of you, if you're looking to improve your shape of shot, if you're a slicer, this drill for you could be game changing. I would tell you that 90% of the people who slice do so for this exact reason: poor transition, too much upper body rotation, leading to an excessively out to in swing path. That swing path there was 5 degrees in to out. I changed the swing path from being excessively across the ball to being able to deliver something far more powerful and far more efficient in terms of energy transfer by swinging into the back of the ball on the correct arc. I know for a fact this exercise is underrated but super beneficial. You will really see a change in all of your clubs in terms of ball flight and distance if you incorporate this into your swing. So I hope you were able to take some useful advice from the video today discussing the concept of swing sequencing, which is a topic that doesn't get a huge amount of discussion, and apply it to your understanding of why your smoother swing actually hits the ball further. Remember, expert golf swings are not slow, they're fast, but they're fast in the right places. Remember, the movement down of the arms and hands first, and doing that quickly, is really what puts the speed into the golf swing at the right time. For you to be swinging fast at impact, you need a good sequence. To have a good sequence, you need to have a good drill. Take this drill that you learned today to the driving range, and you can even take it with you onto the golf course. You'll see lots of professionals using that feeling of the left arm separating from the body as they practice the transition from backswing to downswing. I really know this drill can help hundreds of you out there to hit the ball better, and I hope you found the video really useful. If you did, please do hit the like button. It helps the video to get seen by more people, and if you're new to the channel, I'd appreciate you hitting the subscribe button as well. I mentioned in the video today that this concept can be applied to every club. I hit an iron shot and I also hit a driver for you. If you'd like to explore the idea of how this helps the driver more than any other club, then you can watch this video I made on Rory McIlroy's driving secret. Rory uses this concept to help him be one of the best drivers of the golf ball in the world. And if you haven't checked out this video yet, the bowler drill is a way to take this concept and this feeling with you out onto the golf course and really play the best golf of your life.